Hello, everybody. Well, welcome back to Zone 100, episode 7. I'm sorry for being here with my cat, but she really wanted to. She really wanted to take part in the recording, apparently, and she jumped into my arms right before I started. Does my mic pick up her purring? I don't think it does. Oh well. In any case, Zone 100, episode 7, welcome. I was afraid of this episode. I really put it off. I really delayed recording it. What do you want to do now? Because I was uncomfortable with the direction it was going in. I really am still, besides, uncomfortable with Akira just going back to being a zombie. I really don't like it on a deep personal level, and you salivated on me, and now you're going away. Okay, go ahead, do what you must. There we go. I need to. There we go. I was really, again, I'm still really afraid of getting into this episode because I still don't know where it's gonna go. And I really hope it's not gonna get any more tragic and dramatic than it already was. Right? I really hope we don't get into any more psychological drama. At least in this particular case, because I fully expect this show to get into those areas later on, further down the line. But I really don't like abusive relationship and abusive company kind of topics. It really makes my skin crawl. It's not like, you know, I don't like it because it was a bad episode or what have you. No, it's just a topic that I'm deeply uncomfortable with. So I hope that in this episode Akira gets the help he needs from Shizuka and Kenichi. Or maybe he is the help, he becomes the help he needs. That would be even preferable, because it would also signify a huge amount of character growth, like a legit enormous amount. Akira no longer being a hard to call him a pushover when he's the victim of the circumstances, the victim of his treatment, and it's not really like his fault or his personality that is at play here, but rather, you know, manipulation and whatnot and abuse. But if he powers through it, if he soldiers through it on his own, I'm going to be actually like deeply, whatchamacallit, proud of him. I'm really gonna be immensely proud if he manages to free himself. If he is freed by his friends, that's also perfectly fine. Like, make no mistake, it's also a perfect resolution to the whole conundrum. But if he does it himself, he will earn a metric ton of my respect, because it's really not easy to free yourself from an abusive workplace, abusive relationship, abusive family, abusive whatever. I think there's been a study done that on average it takes a person 6 times to actually leave their abusive partner, something thereabouts. It's not easy. It like alters your brain chemistry at the very deep level. But yeah, I guess that also makes it for the summary of the previous episode for the most part, because despite it time-wise being a fairly minor part of the episode. I think it was like the only last third of the episode being that. It's probably the most significant event that happened in that episode. But before that, we of course Kenichi and Akira noticed that power is out, water is out, everything is going down. The city is slowly dying, and their easy life no longer can exist in an environment like that. So they will need to move somewhere, preferably to the countryside, where it still might be free. It just so happened that there was an RV convention or something of the sort in the city, so they went there. They with the hopes of getting a good and proper luxurious RV they can use to go to the countryside with a jacuzzi and whatnot. They met Shizuka. They are just destined. They are just destined to be together. Who is also after an RV, but after the most utilitarian RV possible. That is armored, has water purification systems, I don't know what else. And there was a little bit of a conflict of interest. Which one do we pick? But she was... well, she wasn't convinced. It was the circumstances that forced them to get the first RV that there was, because the zombies came a knocking. But she joined our team. She got persuaded that, hey, you know, you're not making the proper risk assessments here. You can't drive. You're risking a lot. You don't know how to do that. We know how to do that. So the least risky thing would actually be going with us. That was cool. That was really cool that she actually joined the team of her own volition without, but still being a little tsundere about it. She didn't lose that like tsundere edge. And my cat is now sleeping in a bowl. There's like that big bowl you use to carry washed clothes around, and she really likes sleeping in it. Okay. Today's episode. I hope for Akira's freedom. I expect nothing. I legit don't know where it's going to go. Because we might spend a lot of time in here. We can spend a lot of time with Gonzo. Right, important thing that happened. How did they get in this situation? How did Akira get himself in this situation? They were driving the RV out of the city, and suddenly a spike trap laid down by Gonzo's goons. Kenichi got badly wounded. He needed medical attention, so there was a decision on Akira's hands. Do you come back and work for Gonzo for a couple of days, and he provides you with medical assistance. He provides you new wheels for your RV, and you know, it's your way of repaying him, or you are left to the zombies. Of course, it had only one singular decision, proper decision, but that of course caused Akira to be abused again by Gonzo in multiple different ways. And question is, will Akira actually stay there for just a couple of days, or will he be sucked back into the black company culture? And I fear it's gonna be the latter. I really fear it's gonna be the latter. But he has friends now. He has friends who know that this shit ain't right, and he has friends who will be willing to rescue him, and I have trust in them. Even if Akira decides cannot manage to free himself, I have hopes that Shizuka and Kenichi will do that. Will help him, will save him. But yeah, that's it. That's the summary. So, now, I think we should just watch this episode, right? To do it, you will of course need your subs down below to follow along with me. I'm going to need my sound to hear what's going on. in the show. And I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs nothing, helps a lot. And you can also support me on YouTube if you want. Membership, super thanks, stuff like that. And now we can start watching episode 7 of Zone 100 in 3, 2, 1, go. I love this OP. This Topia, Song of the Dead. This Topia, Song of the Dead. Wait, is it a... Did I forget what the OP was like, or is it a new OP? Yeah, it's a new OP. Like a summary of the road so far, essentially. Without any of those, you know, animated fun elements. It's just a clip show of the season so far. What? I mean, the song is as much of a banger as it ever was, but why would they downgrade the visuals? I don't know, man. Maybe they don't want it to be too happy because we aren't in a happy arc? Maybe. Young Shizuka? Young Shizuka. And how is a dog a detriment to that? Okay. Okay, so her upbringing was all about being a perfectionist. And where's Akira in this party? You're celebrating him and he's nowhere to be seen. Neither is any other worker. I mean, it's a fair question. There was a... What was it, a manga? I think it was a manga or a doujin about a guy who was keeping a female zombie in a cage somewhere in a basement. I mean, come on, her cleavage isn't that deep. Aren't they your guests? Of course. Please someone cave his head in. Those beer mugs look heavy. You know, it would make for a nice blunt weapon. Whew. Man, my heartbeat is picking up. Yeah, it's like really making me Is the dog also going to die? Okay, that's how she got into researching things and acquiring knowledge and whatnot. Of course. Just as it got better. Just as the dog got better. Did he call PETA or something? Right. Okay, so she also has that survival instinct, which also makes her susceptible to Gonzo. Yeah. Please someone cave his head in already. Of course, the classic tactic. For every abuse, show a little bit of kindness. Right, stay with me, I will decide for you, and whatnot. It's gonna be an easy life, yada yada. Same exact rhetoric. Yeah. Right, the bucket list. Uh, is she going to be inspired by it? Yep. And now she's adding her own things. Okay, so it's their communal bucket list by now, because Kenichi has his things there, Akira has his. Who's... oh, a zombie. There we go. Okay, so there is a chance for Gonzo to kick the bucket. Yeah. It doesn't. Akira is staying. Of course. You did? For those, like, 2 days, or however long you were here? Yeah, it's stirring something inside of her. His own benefit. Yeah. Okay. Happy music. Inspirational, one could say. Yep. There we go. The one who was saved is now saving her savior. There we go. Akira, what say you? Tell of my jerk of a boss. There we go. Akira. Yep. Your wants have come true to a degree. You have so much more to live for. You have so many more things you want to do. Are you really going to stop now? There was 100 things you wanted to do. Are you going to stop at 5? Of course you're not. Please at least break his nose or something. There we go. Asserting himself. Being free, finally, from his past. He doesn't owe you shit. Exactly. Well, the society has collapsed. Fuck off. Sue me. And the music is picking up. Yep. And it brought some zombies with them. Everybody's gonna be surprised. Get in that RV and bail. And he's gonna crash through the gates and let more zombies in. And the ones who were leashed. Okay. Everybody gets their comeuppance. Too late. Akira, don't you fucking dare help him. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare do that. Jump into that RV and fucking run. Fucking Japanese and their distaste for revenge, I swear on me mom. Should have run over this motherfucker, not the zombies. He's gonna pull you out and throw you to the zombies. Yeah. He's not a person, he's a piece of shit. Don't treat shit like they're people. Okay, that's smart. You jump and blow your boss up. Why did you carry him with you? You should have blown him up with the rest of the zombies. That's a very nice visual. You shouldn't have. Okay, she's laughing. At least that's the benefit we get from it. You should have blown him up. Please tell me there's some zombies left to eat him. Something, anything. No? No, okay. Sure, whatever. Fair. I mean, it's easy to do when the society has collapsed. It would be very hard for me to, like, spend my time driving an RV around the country and looting stores for food and doing shit like that. I'm gonna be honest. An entirely unsatisfying and disappointing resolution to one of the most uncomfortable arcs in anime in recent memory. If there was an episode of this show that I didn't like, this would be it. I'm gonna be honest with you, 100% honest. I did not have I did not have fun. I did not have fun watching it. By the end, a little bit, maybe, but even then, whatever fun I could have was marred by fuck it, let's watch it again, like always. I'm not really gonna have much to say on the topic though. Very downgraded OP. That was like, we were already off to a bad start. We were already off to a bad start. On one hand, I get why they did it. Maybe that's why they did it. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's an issue with some anime where you have, you know, an episode ends with one of the characters dying and it's super tragic, super sad and whatnot, and then comes in the super like boppy, happy-go-lucky, colorful ED, and it doesn't fit tonally. So sometimes what that anime does is either they don't have the ED and they just have credits and some slow music and the events play out during the ED, and then on the next episode they don't have the OP, for example, to keep up that drama, or they have a special slow, sad ED, and on the next episode, either no OP or a changed OP that is maybe a some sort of a tribute to the character who died or something along those lines. So maybe that's what they were trying to do here, right? Like showing what Akira went through, his journey, all the points of the on his bucket list that he managed to cross off, and how he went from a zombie to being, you know, happy and whatnot. But they didn't have the budget or the time to make a whole new OP. So instead, they just threw in random scenes from the season so far. This show is really weird like that, right? The animation and the art at times has like super high production value, and then you have an OP that is like used to be a couple of really fun original scenes and then just a clip show of the previous episode. But it was at least fun because it served as a recap of the previous episode. But now there isn't even that element to it, and it's really a downgrade. Shizuka's life, of course. She was always being kept to the standard of being a perfectionist, do everything as I say, yada yada yada. Akira being abused, everybody being abused, Shizuka nearly being abused. The boss is a shit hill, we already know that. Need. All about money. There are things you need to do. Nothing what you want to do doesn't matter. What you need to do, what you have to do, that's what matters. Oh man, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still shaking a little bit. This episode really hit something, really hit a nerve. Yeah, she taught herself how to take care of her dog, and the dog was given to a PETA shelter and put to sleep. And yeah, classic abusive relationship technique. Oh, I provide for you. If you're with me, you don't have to worry about rent. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about that. I will give everything to you, yada, yada, yada. Shizuka kind of internalized it. This is kind of a difference between Shizuka and Akira. Akira became it. Became what the abuser was hoping for him to become. Meanwhile, Shizuka noticed very early on that shit's fucked, yo, and her behavior is only a matter of survival. And she didn't internalize any of it. Inside, she was boiling, she was standing against everything, but to survive, she didn't actually act against it. That's the biggest difference between them. But since she met Akira, she smiles a little bit more. And she adds her own thing to the list. I wonder if it was something that she added just spontaneously, tell off my boss, or did she add it thinking that it will help her save Akira? I wonder. There's a zombie inside, time to go, but of course the boss doesn't want them to go, and of course Akira doesn't want to go either because he got brainwashed into it. But thankfully Shizuka speaks some sense. Yeah, your boss is of no benefit to you. He's a leech. He's a leech. He says that, oh, he's gonna do so much for you, but he never actually does anything. He wants to dominate you, he wants to make you do his bidding, he wants to take your freedom of choice, your self-respect, your need to live, your pride, everything. He has no self-esteem, he's never satisfied, he will always ask more. You will never be enough. He will do anything to assert himself. And yeah, until today, I was just like you, but you opened my eyes. This is a very nice visual. Protecting her younger self from abuse. This is actually a fairly... This sort of a visualization is a fairly common tactic in therapy. At least my therapist really likes to use it. You close your eyes and you imagine that you meet your younger self. And either you promise him that you will protect him, or you tell him that, hey, it's better now, you don't need to constantly be in my head. And you interact with your younger self, or you interact with your abuser in your thoughts or in your imagination, or you interact with maybe your parents if they were the ones who caused you issues. It's a really nice image. I'm pretty damn sure, like 90% sure, to make... Okay, it's based on the source material, so whoever is responsible for the source material, I think the source material is the manga. The mangaka either has a background with psychology, or attended therapy, or was himself a victim of abuse, or consulted someone who knows about those things. Because you don't write a story this viscerally resounding without experiencing it yourself. You simply don't. You simply don't. It checks off so many boxes. It checks off so many triggers, if you can speak of that. It shakes something deep within me and makes me deeply uncomfortable. You don't do that on accident. You don't do that because you're a good writer. You do that because you lived it. There's no other way. No one can say what the right answer will be. And yeah, I want to go as soon as possible. And here's your bucket list. What do you actually want to do? Is staying with my former boss on your bucket list? No, the fuck it isn't. So it's not something you want to do. It's not actually something you want to do. Here's what you want to do. Here's 100 things you want to do. Well, not a full 100, but here's some things you want to do. Do those. Not this shit. Yeah. Tell my jerk of a boss. So many things you actually did. So many things you actually wanted to do and did. Aren't they? This is a tactic. This is like a legit tactic that I don't see myself being able to use, honestly, because it requires an enormous peace of mind, I guess, and enormous patience. When someone's angry with you, kill them with kindness. Be kind, apologize, smile. They're screaming bloody murder at you and spitting. Just, you know, be calm, be collected, smile. It works, supposedly. I can't see myself doing that, and I kinda... I'm surprised that Akira can. Yeah, an extremely unsatisfying resolution, though. I mean, sure, satisfying because Akira and his crew managed to get out. Sure, I guess, satisfying because... Oh, I guess one of those zombies was actually wearing lingerie, so perhaps the guy who was talking about railing a zombie actually tried to do that. But yeah, okay, it's satisfying in that Gonzo was abandoned by everybody, ultimately. This is, like not from this anime. Honestly, this image, this visual, it's like something from fucking Berserk or something. Not Zom 100. It's amazing. It looks amazing. And Shizuka is finally smiling, laughing together with Akira. This is a good ending for them, but also an ending not bad enough for Gonzo. It really isn't. Like, sure, okay, he was abandoned by everybody, and this is often like a legit thing that happens. People are used to obeying authority for no other reason than there are other people who also obey that authority. If just one person revolts and is successful, suddenly it turns out that the authority doesn't really have much power. Right? I mean, that even works when it comes to whole entire countries and countries' rulers and whatnot. If, like, a ruler of a country, a government or a king or whatever, is a danger to you only because they have the army at their disposal, or the police force or whatever. If the army rebels, if the police force rebels, they're just people. They're just people. And turns out nobody actually needs to listen to them. And the same happens here with Gonzo. But it still doesn't feel satisfying to me. Honestly, his nose remains unbroken, his kneecaps remain in place, his head remains uncaved, and he hasn't been bitten by a zombie or blown up. He's alive. He can find other followers. He can rebuild his empire, ultimately, and abuse more people. He's a net detriment to society. It's an issue. It's an issue I have with multiple pieces of Japanese media. The aversion to revenge, right? The sheer aversion to that. Oh, be the bigger man. No, if I kill you, I will become the same as you, taking the higher road and whatnot. Fuck no. And my voice even cracked. Don't know if you could hear that. But fuck no. Revenge is sweet. It brings closure. It's like a legit thing. Revenge brings closure. I was unsatisfied when Raftalia didn't kill the slave trader in Shield Hero Season 1. I'm unsatisfied here that Gonzo didn't even get punched in the face or bitten by a zombie or anything like that. Even... like, there is a certain amount, an influx almost, of manga that are revenge stories. And I guess its market kind of overcompensating in the other direction. Right? Like, for so long, revenge was seen as something unbecoming, something bad in manga, in light novels, in anime, that eventually plots centered around revenge started appearing. But even then, in some of those stories, they start as stories about revenge, and nothing actually becomes of it. Someone was brought in to another world and then was discarded because, oh, they were actually the weakest class or what have you, and, oh, I swear revenge, I will have your heads. And within 5 chapters, it turns into a generic fantasy harem, except the main character is a little bit edgier, but the revenge is like nowhere to be seen. Plenty such cases. Really, plenty such cases. Not even revenge-centered stories are about revenge. Yeah, I kept talking a lot here. It was a big long aside. But yeah, what I wanted to say, very unsatisfying ending. This resonates with me a lot. Working sucked. I wonder if I'm even cut out for it. I'll never find the right job for me. I have the exact same feeling, honestly, as Akira. I worked as a programmer, I worked as a freelancer making websites, I worked as a teacher. Right now, I'm waiting for a response from some Institute of Zoo Technology, who also need a programmer, a developer, but in a different language this time around. My first job was in PHP, this is .NET. But I wonder, I always have that thought in the back of my head, am I even cut out for it? Do I actually want to work? Do I actually want a job, or do I feel like it's my it's a necessity? It's my duty, or whatever you want to call it. And increasingly so, I feel like it's the latter. I'm not looking for a job because I need to work, because of some inherent desire to sell my time off to some corporation. I'm looking for work because it's necessary for survival, and because it's the expectation of society that once you turn 18, or perhaps even earlier, you have a job. Or if not, then at least after you finish studying, after you get your degree, then you find a job and you work continuously. That's the reason I look for a job, not because I want to. It really resonates with me. Online personalities, esports athletes, drone pilots. Sure, there's so many jobs that will appear that are anyone's guess, and maybe you will find something eventually. Sure, but thing is, I kinda did find something I like doing. This, what I'm doing right now, that's what I like doing. That's what I would like my job to be. But there's a tiny little problem in the shape of an actual job pays me 10 times, more than 10 times the amount of money that YouTube does. 20 times the amount of money, sometimes. So, her saying here, do what you want to do and enjoy doing it. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Eventually, one day, one of those things may become a job that only you can do. Sure. Yeah, absolutely, but until you find that something, you need to survive. What she's saying works only in the context of a zombie apocalypse, when the civilization and society has collapsed. Where you can go to a store and loot some food that you want, and steal an RV and genuinely do what you want to do. I can't do that. I cannot do what I want to do. I need to survive. I need to be able to buy some bread. If I want to drive an RV, I need to pay for a driver's license, for a course, first of all, for an exam, and then for a car, for gas. And even if I do that and I buy myself an RV, I can't just go around the countryside looting food from stores. I need to pay for that food. And where does that money come from? Well, from a job, from doing something that I don't want to do, because that's the only thing that pays. But hey, at least they made it to Gunma, so I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. Next time, Sushi and Hot Springs of the Dead. Hopefully the next episode is a little funnier, more fun. Because this one really made me fucking existential. It's a good thing that I have a therapy session today. I'm gonna have some things to talk about. Holy shit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This episode continued the uncomfortable arc. The arc that really deeply resonates with me and that really makes me deeply uncomfortable. And the themes presented in it, especially at the end, the thing with doing what you want to do and perhaps one day finding a job, finding work in something you might actually want to do. Man, I wish it was possible. I genuinely wish for this kind of a zombie apocalypse to happen, for society to collapse so that I can steal an RV and drive around the countryside. It's a simple life, honestly. I'm not sure what to think of this episode. It was done well. On the level of like presentation, themes, story, and psychology of it. It was really done well. This entire arc was. But personally, I only enjoyed the moment of Ichika and Akira, Shizuka and Akira laughing together for a brief moment. And that brief rise of Akira from his zombification back, and Shizuka's speech. That was the only moment I had fun with. The rest was the opposite of fun. Now I realized that this was probably the goal. The goal of this episode wasn't to be a fun episode. It was to bring some drama, it was to bring some psychological horror, almost, some existentialism, shit like that. Doesn't change the fact, though. And my biggest issue is probably with the resolution being unsatisfying. When the zombie was freed from the truck, I was hoping, I thought that, hell yeah, Gonzo is gonna get his fucking comeuppance, he's gonna get bitten, he's gonna get turned into a zombie, and one of his goons is gonna cave his head in. But then Akira had to be a fucking goody two-shoes and save him. This episode was all too real, honestly. It was all too real. And I guess I'm still hung up the most about the ending, about what Shizuka says about having fun. Man, I wish. Man, I wish I was in their place. But the world doesn't work this way. The society doesn't work this way. And until it collapses, it won't. So it's a false hope kinda. It's, you know, one thing that really that I was really reminded of when Shizuka was talking. Oh, it's easy, you know. If you don't want to have a job, well, just don't. Just do what you want. Maybe you're gonna find something you wanna do eventually. It really reminds me of, why do you have depression? Just don't be sad. Why are you sad? Just smile. Go for a walk. You know, what's so hard about it? It's like coming from the place of ignorance almost. It really didn't sit well. It really didn't sit well with me. It's probably just me. It's probably just me. But I'm the one who's watching it, right? I'm the target audience. I'm the viewer. So I'm giving my own fully biased opinion. Again, hopefully next episode is a little bit more fun. That's how I'm gonna say it. But today, I think I said my piece. I think that's gonna be it. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Was it a good episode to you? Did it have a satisfying resolution? Or are you in my camp and it wasn't and it didn't? Tell me about it in the comments down below. What did you thought of my reaction? My theories? Did I have any? Not really. But yeah, tell me all about it in the comments. No spoilers from future episodes or the source material. Spoilers, go to my Discord here and in the description, if anywhere. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Zone 100 but also Magia Record, Ancient Magus Bride, Undead Girl Murder Farce, Helk, and Nanatsu no Makangashi Haisuru, and other shows coming at you in the future. I streamed my look at the next season, so it's probably gonna be linked somewhere in the card, so you might want to check it out. Support the click the bell, because I also stream sometimes, so you might want to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked it down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. There's also YouTube memberships and super thanks also down below. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, The Corporal Survivor, Zetran, Zayrainer, Akkomancer, Marsh, Vassal, Dr. Wotukala, and Hans Peter. And you can join them and be my hope of not needing a job.